Seeing that we're past the 6 o'clock hour, we'll call this meeting to order. Could everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? We'll have a
Mr. Chairman,
moment of silence for...
I believe the former manager of the Farm Bureau, Patrick Kirchhofer, passed away, so we need to remember him and his family.
So Member Elsasser, that was right there to remember. He passed away on Monday, so he'd been around this horseshoe many times speaking to us on farm issues. So moment of silence for Patrick Kirchhofer and the Farm Bureau family that had lost their longtime leader. Good looking out, though, Member Elsasser. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
There are 18 present.
Is there a motion for the approval of the October 10th minutes? Member Duncan, Member Daly. Any comments, corrections? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Members Blair? Aye. Bryant?
Aye.
Coates? Aye. Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Aye. Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer?
Aye.
Williams? Windisch? And Chairman Dillon.
Aye.
18 ayes.
Next is proclamations and presentations. We're going to have this a little out of order. We have guests from the Young Minds and Carl group today that would like to come address the board. Dr. Knepp in Campen, Dr. Booth are all here to address us and give us some comments on the wonderful updates of what they're doing. And if you're a doctor too, I apologize that I didn't address you correctly. Sure, yes.
Thank you, Chairman Dillon and members of the County Board. We're grateful to be here tonight. We wanted to provide an update to the county on the use of the Headington Oaks facility, now known as the Young Minds Center, that goes back 2 or 3 years. I was trying to remember, Scott, when we were here, but I think it was 3 years ago with board chairs of Trillium Place and our Carl Health Board making the pitch that we use this facility. And it was 2 years ago that we actually purchased the facility from the county. And now we stand here today and we've made many millions of dollars of renovations. We've had tremendous private philanthropic support for the Young Minds Center and some public support as well. And I'm pleased to report that we are now open and caring for patients in that facility. So we're here just because we wanted to close the loop with the county. You made a big investment, the citizens here did in that facility, and want to assure you that that investment is being put to good use, and that facility is continuing to serve our community and patients in our community. So I'll let Derek and Ann introduce themselves, and they'll tell you a little bit more about what's happening there.
Good evening. My name is Ann Campen. I'm the Executive Director of Finance for Trillium Place. I'm also the building administrator for the Young Minds Center, so I live there. The center, we've opened up 3 of our units, our pods, where we have 15 beds in each unit, and they're all up and operating right now. That's on the first floor. On the second floor, we have our outpatient services for the child and adolescent. And then the Trillium Place administration team has moved out of the building on Fayette, and we've moved on to the second floor of Young Minds Center. My role, again, is just the building administrator, so I've been working with the city of West Peoria, working with neighbors, with helping with parking issues when they've got sewer work on their driveway and they come and park in our lot. So we're trying to be good neighbors there. We are also working on some training and some other events in our community room to do training and symposiums and things like that for child and adolescent behavioral health. And the other opportunity we have in this space that we are not occupying is to work with other organizations that provide child and adolescent services. So more to come in that building. So I'll hand this over to Dr. Booth. He has a lot more fun and interesting things to talk about.
I just want to echo those same sentiments of saying thank you. The best care can be provided when it's provided close to home. A big piece of the care and the treatment plan is when families can be incorporated into the care process. And when individuals can receive that care close to home, their families can also be added to that treatment plan. So I want to say thank you again for allowing us to utilize this facility for Young Minds. It does expand our capacity to provide the best treatment for more young youth and adolescents. So again, thank you.
Happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Any questions? I just want to make a comment as the member whose district that still resides in, and when it closed, the fear of what was next, and the area could not ask for a better neighbor than Carl has been. And I have to give a lot of respect to, I wish all CEOs were like Dr. Knapp, that would pick up a phone, take phone calls, worries about, knows everything in the organization and the details. Peoria is lucky to have you, and we were really lucky that this all worked out in this scenario. So from my standpoint, I greatly appreciate you and your team.
Thank you so much.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. And if you haven't taken the tour, there's no more tours, but it was an amazing place to see what they had done. Next is proclamations. First proclamation designating November 14th, Diana Penger Smith Day. And Diana, if I messed it up, I'm sorry. Come on up, Pennegar. Danny, coming up too? So this is one where we get to have a little lighthearted fun.
Yeah, county board doesn't always have to be serious hard work, although it is a lot. And I'm going to introduce you to Diana here in a minute, and you're going to find out that she is the wife of Chicago Cubs Hall of Famer Lee Smith. And so before we get accused of being one-sided, I'm going to bring, I think Joey Vitelli is here from the St. Louis Cardinals. They happen to be good friends, even though Cubs get the front seat today. So, Joey, come up and stand by your friend Diana while I make this proclamation. Whereas our guest of honor, Diana Pennegar Smith, wife of Chicago Cubs Hall of Famer Lee Smith, has adopted Peoria County as her home away from home, selecting our humble communities as her favorites among world-class destinations. Whereas Diana Pennegar Smith has afforded much-needed rest, relaxation, and entertainment to select board members from this auspicious body, opening the guest suites at Wrigley Field to the delight of those who had the pleasure to attend. And whereas Diana and Lee Smith have frequented such five-star establishments as Kelleher's Irish Pub, Jimmy's Bar, Hannah City Sportsman's Club, The Fish House, Alexander Street Steakhouse, Rookie's Sports Grill, Donnelly's Pub, Gill's Supper Club, and Connected Restaurant, and they have, after worldwide travels, declared those fine purveyors as their personal favorites. And whereas Lee Smith has recently undergone a successful heart transplant surgery, with Diana standing diligently by his side as his primary caregiver for the last 12 months, and thus feeling the need for a relaxing break, chose Peoria from such choices as the Dominican Republic, Rome, Italy, and Phoenix, Arizona. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, chairperson of the Peoria County Board, hereby designate November 14th as Diana Pennegar Smith Day in Peoria County, Illinois, in honor of Diana's stalwart dedication to our humble Midwestern hospitality and camaraderie. Oh, 14th, yeah. I'm afraid you got cheated out by giving you this on the 14th at 6 o'clock at night. You really only have a few hours of Diana Pennegar Smith Day. That's for you. Thank you. Would you like to speak to the group?
Before I do that, I have a special gift from my husband and myself for the oldest board member here who is also a big baseball fan, a young man by the name of Phil.
Oh.
Come on up, Coach. Hey, look at that. That'll fit here. He's got quite a memorabilia collection. An autographed ball from a Hall of Famer. Oh, unbelievable.
You good? I'm good.
Say to a Philadelphia Philly fan, since I was 9 years old, and I appreciate the Cubs and the Cardinals both because I would get information listening to Harry Carey on whatever station that was, KMOX, was it, or something like that, about the Phillies. But because I really didn't know much about where Philadelphia was, but I knew where Springfield, Illinois was, and that was Robin Robertson's hometown, and he became one of my idols. Thank you very much.
So I'm not usually the one receiving anything but grief from my husband, so this really humbles me and I appreciate it. Now I get to go home and say, look what I got. I got a whole day. Thank you all very much.
Next, another icon in Peoria business, a proclamation recognizing the 75th anniversary of Lippman's Furniture and Interiors. Mike and family? Yep, right behind you.
I was just talking to Mike before I read this. He said his sister Kathy is with him, and I don't know where Kathy lives, but I know Mike lives in she lives in Edelstein. That's probably out in Elcester's area, right? Edelstein, and Mike is a neighbor of mine. I live in Forest Hill subdivision behind Kroger's there on Sterling. He lives in Wardcliff, so it's a pleasure to make this presentation. Whereas for 75 years, Lippman Furniture and Interiors has provided exceptional products and services, becoming a cornerstone for high-quality furnishings and interior design across central Illinois. And whereas founded in Chemnitz, Germany by M. Walter Lippmann in the early 20th century, Lippman's Furniture and Interiors established its roots in Peoria in October 1949, where it has grown to be an integral part of the local community. And whereas Lippman's Furniture and Interiors offers an extensive catalog of premium furniture options for homes and offices alike, employs a skilled local interior design team to build clients through their choices, and provides essential services such as window treatments, flooring, reupholstery, and repairs. And whereas Peoria County recognizes and commends the dedication, resilience, and excellence that have sustained Lippman Furniture and Interiors for 3/4 of a century. And we wish them continued success and prosperity in the years ahead. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, Chairman of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby congratulate Lippman and Lippman's Furniture and Interiors on the occasion of their 75th anniversary and extend our appreciation for their enduring commitment to quality and service. Dated this 14th day of November, AD 2024, James C. Dillon, Peoria County Chairman, Rachel Parker, Peoria County Clerk, and if you haven't been there, you need to go. They got a beautiful store, and I've been in it several times, and I should say, my wife's made some purchases. But anyway, they do a great service to the community. Would you like to say it?
We would just like to say thank you on behalf of our whole family. My mom and dad would have been here with us tonight to be part of this, but Dad just got out of the hospital at 91 years old, and he's still kicking and working in our warehouse every day. So we appreciate everybody's hospitality and their business that they've provided over us over the years, and we invite you in to come in and just say hi if you need to. Just come on in and say hi. So we appreciate everything, and thank you again for this proclamation. Thanks.
And you might recognize Mike. He's a busy man. He's also attends about every Chiefs game. Has been there helping them out for years, and then he also serves on the City of Peoria's ZBA commission, zoning commission. Zoning. Ours is ZBA, so zoning.
Mr. Chairman, a lot of my counterparts were not on the board yet, but when Ashley came in to North Point, you probably don't remember me calling you, but you do. I called and said, I'm voting against that because I'm a small business person. And I might have been the only one that voted against it, I'm not sure, but they're not even there anymore. So anyway, congratulations.
I'm going to do this a little out of order. Next is a proclamation recognizing Small Business Saturday. Is there a representative to receive that? We'll still just read it.
Life as a small business owner can be tough. Most are still working today, or spending what little time they have outside of their business with their families. So I'll be making this proclamation to all the small business owners in Peoria County. I also want to remind you, as it'll come up in the proclamation, that if you go to startabusinessgp.org, you have access to our Smart Start dashboard and other resources to help get a business started. We have access to mentors and other information, and we still have another 20 microgrants to give to local small business owners as they start their business. Whereas Peoria County celebrates our local small businesses and their contributions they make to our local economy and community, and whereas, according to the United States Small Business Administration, there are 33.2 million small businesses in the United States, representing 99.7% of all firms with paid employees, and are responsible for 62.7% of net new jobs created since 1995. And whereas Small Business Saturday and our local Shop Small effort, Shop Local 365, encourages residents to shop or eat at small, independently owned businesses all year long, not just during the holiday season. And whereas Peoria County's Start a Business Greater Peoria initiative aims to help grow small businesses and startups in Peoria County by utilizing the Smart Start dashboard. And whereas individuals utilizing the Smart Start dashboard are connected with mentors who help guide entrepreneurs step by step through launching a small business in our region, involve them in the extensive local entrepreneur ecosystem, and help set them up for success. And whereas Peoria County has previously awarded $150,000 in microgrants, with another $100,000 allocated in the upcoming year to help entrepreneurs who have completed the Smart Start dashboard take the next big step in their business. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, Chairperson of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the Peoria County Board, do hereby proclaim Saturday, November 30th, 2024, as Small Business Saturday in Peoria County, dated this 14th day of November, AD 2024, signed James C. Dillon and Rachel Parker.
Nate? So politics is a tough business. I think everybody around this horseshoe knows when you put your name on the ballot, sometimes it goes good your way and sometimes it doesn't. But in this scenario, I'm really glad I got a friend out of Nate for the 2 years that he served. And I would genuinely say, I wish there was more Nate Hares in politics. He's a good, genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever met. And every time I asked for anything, you always answered the call and done that and responded and went above and beyond. And with that, you'll see that on later on the appointments. There is an appointment tonight that would put Mr. Hare on the Board of Health, and he has agreed to go on there and bring his business background to that. So again, answering the call, and I greatly appreciate that, and I'm glad to have called you my friend, Nate, and continue to call my friend. Great. So whereas Peoria County wishes to extend its deep gratitude and appreciation to Nathan Hare for his dedicated service as County Board Member for District 9, a role he has held since December 5th, 2022. And whereas during his tenure, Nathan Hare has actively contributed to multiple board committees, including County Health, County Operations, and Public Safety and Justice, providing valuable insights and guidance. And whereas Nathan Hare, a lifelong resident of Peoria, serves as president and CEO of his family's third-generation businesses, where he oversees operations and drives innovation in landscape management, plant growing, and soil mix production. And whereas Peoria County recognizes Nathan Hare's commitment to community service beyond the board, with his involvement in numerous boards and councils such as the Peoria Area Postal Advisory Council, City of Peoria Urban Forestry Board, Salvation Army Advisory Board, Lifeline Pilots, Central Illinois Young Life, and Northwards Community Church. And now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, Chairperson of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the entire board, do hereby formally recognize and thank Nathan Hare for his outstanding public service and dedication to the residents of Peoria County. Standing ovation.
Wow. Well, thank you. I'm truly humbled. And Jimmy, I'm a better guy for serving under your leadership and also the leadership of the committee's operations with Steve, health with Rob, and then Jennifer with public safety. So thank you for that. And Steve, or Scott, sorry about that. They got the district wrong thing anyway. So yeah, you are a subject matter expert, and you also have a leadership bent, and I like that about you. So now, with all due respect to the CO2 carbon pipeline people who I've listened to and been educated by, and now the wind turbines people, I do have a few parting comments. So, just kidding. So, thank you very much.
Thanks, Nate.
That was a good one.
That's why I enjoy you, Nate. You always find humor. So we have 4 public comment cards. citizens' remarks. The first one, and I don't know if he is present because it was turned in, so we'll have 5 minutes per person. A Michael King. This was given to the board and filed at the clerk's earlier. Michael King. Not present. Theodore Brown for the windmills. And before I go to the next three, I do want to recognize Dan Hines had come up beforehand. As you can see, there's lots of members in the No Windmills present. Want to be present, want to talk. Most of them have spoke before, and Dan just asked to I'm recognizing that they're here tonight, and that there was only a few that were going to comment, and not everybody comment for sake of time. So, Theodore Brown. Oh, come on up here.
Good evening, Board. Theodore Brown from Trivola. I'm a professional pilot, aircraft inspector, and owner of what's affectionately called Trivola International Airport. I'm here to speak about these proposed tall windmills. They are an extreme hazard to aviation, to aircraft flying across our state. Somebody's going to get killed by these tall windmill towers. Windmills are, in the first place, windmills are not viable. They wouldn't make it without our tax dollars through subsidies. Windmills are ugly. The blades are not reusable. They're being buried. We should be talking about getting rid of windmills, not building more of them. As I fly around our country, I see these windmill farms, and they're nothing but a scar on our beautiful countryside. Thank you.
Next is Bob Jorgensen.
That's about it. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. Anything close. Sounds good. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me. I'm Bob Jorgensen. I'm with Heart of Illinois Sierra Club. And I'll start my comments with saying that the wind industry and environmental industries overall try to listen to the things that need to be done that maybe aren't perfect as the industries get started. And one of those things is blade recycling. They now have a good way to recycle the fiberglass out of the blades, and the blades are made mostly of fiberglass. And they do such a good job on it that they can take the fiberglass that's been recycled and put it into a new blade. They also do, it goes into concrete sometimes too for extra strength. If you've ever worked with concrete, you know they're putting fibers in it now too. So the industry has worked to make improvements. I've got improvements since I've kind of started that way. 6 ways to improve the safety of bats and birds. That some people say that's a big issue. Cats in the United States in 1 hour kill as many birds as wind turbines kill in a year. So not a real lot of comparison. I had other numbers, but I stumbled on that, thought it, made it easy to think of. For other bird and bat problems, they try and site them away from where these birds and bats live. They're putting out ultrasonic boom boxes now. It's estimated that this is reducing deaths by strikes by maybe 20 to 50%. They're adding ultraviolet lighting around the turbines, and this deters the insects from being by the turbines, and so the bats and the birds then stay away. There's nothing to get to eat. They're also let's see. I just did UV lighting there. Oh, UV lighting is also there. Um, oh, they're using radar, like weather radar, to spot flocks of birds or of bats. They're using this same technology, similar to weather technology in Florida. There's a company named Merlin that makes these systems. So when they see a lot of birds or a lot of bats, they turn off the turbines so that there aren't so many strikes. There are other things that they're doing too. It's been suggested that the angle of the blade is changed. They're adding a color to one of the blades in the turbine. And I guess that's about my time there. Thanks very much for. Oh, oh, okay, thanks. Um, well, I did have one other here that if I can. They're changing the cut-in speeds and the cut-out speeds. Most bat and bird strikes happen when the blades are going slowly, when they're just starting. So again, if they see that that's a problem in a certain area, they change and don't start the turbines until they would be spinning at a higher rate. So the cut-in speed would change, and they do the same thing with the cut-out speed. Depending on how fast the turbines are, they can be controlled and automatically turn off. So these are all things that turbine industries and people are trying to do to make these turbines as friendly to the environment and animals and birds and so forth as possible. Thanks again for your time. Thank you.
Next is Tracy Fox.
Hi, my name's Tracy Fox. I live north of Knoxville, or Mossville, excuse me, in the unincorporated county in Bryan Elsasser's district. I've been a longtime supporter of wind and solar and an opponent of fossil fuels. I worked down in Springfield for the past several years to help pass the biggest energy legislation in the state that includes some substantial incentives for wind development. And I would suggest as a county board that when you're confronted with this, that you take a three-part approach. First of all, I think you need to look at the deep benefits that accrue to everyone in the county, not just a few perimeter landowners. I think you need to look at how it helps our farmers who are increasingly challenged by erratic weather, by looming possibilities of trade wars, and chemical companies that just keep them on the treadmill buying more and more. They have a right to harvest whatever they want off their land, and I would support that and talk about it more. Secondly, the jobs and the union jobs specifically, these big projects mean a lot to organized labor, and that has the spill-on effect of when money comes into the community. more money spent, other businesses are propped up. And finally, all of the services that can be provided by the tax base that these wind companies bring. And that would include propping up rural schools, rural roads, and rural fire districts. Secondly, I would ask you to think about property rights in terms of who holds the rights and what should they be asked to do. My belief is that people should be allowed to do what they want with their land, and they shouldn't be forced to do things with their land. So for me, it's a pretty simple calculus. If you want to build wind and solar, great, build it. Follow the rules, look out for your neighbors, but go ahead and build it. Similarly, if you don't want to host something like a CO2 pipeline, the government shouldn't be able, by eminent domain, to take your land and force you to have it. To me, it's all part and parcel. It's not two sides of a coin. It's the exact same thing. And I think you have a slippery slope here if you start saying that external neighbors should be able to dictate what people do with their property. I've lived as a rural landowner on a 5-acre parcel across from farm ground for 30 years. Now, I am sometimes disturbed when I see the crop duster planes flying over and the overspray coming onto my bushes. I sometimes don't like the hum of the tech center test cells. And sometimes I don't care for the fact that my neighbors like to shoot guns recreationally on a Friday or a Saturday night. But I live with that because they're doing it on their property and what they're doing is legal. I don't see how society can move forward without that. Finally, I'd like to talk about a framework for looking at the harms. You all have heard, and I reviewed some of the tapes, I haven't been here in person, a litany of things that are wrong with these windmills. For example, tonight, we have an assertion that they're causing problems for flights, and yet there's an FAA approval on any wind farm. I would think that we would look to the Federal Aviation Administration to say whether these are harmful or not, rather than just an assertion from someone who owns an airport in Travola. Secondly, when you look at the wildlife situation, there's a built-in consultation with both the Illinois Department of Natural Resources as well as the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. So if there are questions about that, I think that those are where the questions should be directed, and they can make the determination as to whether the siting of a particular farm is suitable. And in terms of the property values, lean on your economic development people, lean on your assessors to figure out whether or not these windmills are uniquely jeopardizing the value of smaller rural homes. Similarly, with the human health impacts, and this was the one that Joyce Blumenshine had asked me to look at, I suggest you talk to Monica and some of the folks over at your own health department and see if they think that these studies hold water. I reviewed the 498 Wind Watch document. I didn't read all 498 studies, but I went through the first ones. The very first one is blatantly an opinion by someone who stopped these things, is the name of the group. The next one is a technical study which doesn't show any actual harms. It just documents a mechanism that the endothelium and microcirculation in the human air could be affected by wind. No harms documented. The third one, Association to Wind Turbines and Sleep Disorders. This one says we can reach no conclusions in terms of causality. The poor quality of current evidence precludes it. And if you go through, the first 10 I looked at didn't mean anything. I went flipping through further. I looked for studies on diabetes,
Tracy.
cardio. Thank you. They concluded there were no links. Consult your own experts. Take action based on the experts you're already paying rather than just a bunch of assertions that don't really make sense when all of this has already been decided in Springfield. Thank you.
Next, we'd be at consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, for the public record, is it appropriate for me to ask Mr. Jorgensen what his home address is? It's not? They don't have to give that out? Okay. I always thought it was our protocol, but that's fine. That's fine.
Nope.
That's fine.
Is there a motion for the consent agenda? Member Blair, Member Renault. Are there any comments on the consent agenda? Or would anybody like anything pulled? Member Rulon?
Not to pull, but I do have a comment. Sometimes a tremendous amount of hard work can be represented by a single sentence, and in this particular case, item C8 is just that. Members Williams and Daly did a very deep dive on the authorized staffing count. They've been involved in this for quite some time. They've got a tremendous amount of support from county staff, and I just want to recognize that that one sentence doesn't do justice to the hard work, and I appreciate Sharon and Linda so much for going the extra mile on that item.
Thank you, Member Rulon.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pull C10, please. C10.
Any other that would need to be pulled or comments? Seeing none, roll call on all items other than C10.
Members Blair?
Aye.
Bryant?
Aye.
Coates?
Aye.
Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsesser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulon? Salzer? Williams? Windisch? And Chairman Dillon.
Aye.
18 ayes. Okay.
Clerk Parker's typing. C10 is a resolution from County Operations Committee recommending approval, issuing a purchase order to MGT Consulting of America for an IT managed detection and response security solution, not to exceed $340,000 from the American Rescue Plan Act funds. Is there a motion to put this on the floor? Member Ricker, is there a second? Member Blair. Questions, comments to this one?
Well, I wanted to say that I'm going to be opposing this because after the committee meeting, I thought about it, and it seems like we could better use this ARPA money for something a little more personal or more community-oriented. We spent almost $500,000 in IT, and I know that's an approved item on the list from the federal government, but and everybody's probably going to say, well, I just want $200,000 for the Princeville Edelstein Water Project, but there's other projects that are very, very worthwhile, and I think they would be much more personal and beneficial for our community.
Thank you, Member Elsesser. Any other comments? You ready? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Members Blair?
Aye.
Bryant?
Aye.
Coates? Aye. Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsesser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulon? Salzer? Williams? Windisch? And Chairman Dillon.
Aye.
17 ayes and 1 nay. Okay, zoning ordinances and resolutions. Case ZBA 2024-0066, petition of Chad Zeke, a special use request as required in section 20-7.3.2.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance to vary from the requirement that a home occupation must be conducted entirely within the dwelling or the accessory structure. The petitioner proposes outdoor parking and storage for a trucking company in the A2 Agriculture Zoning District, Also, a special use request is required in Section 20-7.3.5.8 of the Unified Development Ordinance to vary from the requirement that no vehicle that exceeds a gross vehicle weight of 8,000 pounds may be parked on the site of a home occupation, regardless of whether that vehicle is used for deliveries or other commercial purposes associated with the home occupation. The petitioner proposes to park a semi-trailer truck and trailer with a gross vehicle weight up to 73,280 pounds, a pickup truck with a gross vehicle weight of up to 26,000 pounds, and a flatbed trailer with a gross vehicle weight of up to 16,000 pounds. Also, a special use request is required in Section 20-7.3.5.9 of the Unified Development Ordinance to vary from the requirement that a home occupation may involve the use or indoor storage of heavy equipment, and that the equipment may only be stored in the dedicated accessory structure. Only one vehicle and only 2 trailers or pieces of equipment may be permitted. The petitioner is proposing to allow 2 commercial vehicles, 2 trailers, and 2 skidsters. The petitioner also proposes to store the equipment outside.
Member Rosenbaum, Member Daley. Comments? 2 things. If Nick was still working here, I would have to have him research if that was the longest ordinance that has ever read by member or clerk. And 2, just a little recognition to Member Windish on the research he did on this. He went above and beyond and called and made sure on things. So with that, thank you, Member Windish. Seeing none, roll call.
Members Blair?
Aye.
Bryant?
Aye.
Coates?
Aye.
Daley?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer? Williams? Windish? And Chairman Dillon.
Aye.
18 ayes. Item number 2 is a joint resolution from your Finance, Audit, and Legislative Committee and your Executive Committee recommending approval of a proposal for resolution authorizing the county administrator to transfer funds as necessary for year-end transactions.
Member Williams, Member Bryant. Questions? Comments? Roll call, please.
Members Blair?
Aye.
Bryant?
Aye. Aye.
Coates?
Aye.
Daley?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Ricker? Renault? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer? Williams? Windish? And Chairman Dillon.
Aye.
18 ayes. Item number 3 is a joint resolution from your Finance, Audit, and Legislative Committee and your Executive Committee recommending approval of a proposal amending the county's financial policies.
Member Williams, Member Bryant. Questions, comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Members Blair?
Aye.
Bryant?
Aye.
Coates?
Aye.
Daley?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Groves Allison? There we go. Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer? Williams? Windish? And Chairman Dillon.
Aye.
18 ayes. Item number 4 is a joint resolution from your Finance, Audit, and Legislative Committee and your Executive Committee recommending approval of a proposal for resolution for FY 2025 tax abatement on all series general obligation bonds.
Member Williams, Member Bryant. Questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Members Blair? Aye. Sorry about that. Bryant?
Aye.
Coates?
Aye.
Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer? Windisch? Williams? And Chairman Dillon.
Aye.
Just keeping you guys on your toes there. 18 ayes. Item number 5 is a joint resolution from your Finance, Audit, and Legislative Committee and your Executive Committee recommending approval of the 2024 tax levy ordinance payable in 2025.
Member Williams, Member Bryant. Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Members Blair? Aye. Bryant?
Aye.
Coates?
Aye.
Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Groves Allison? Hare? Kelch? Phelan? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Salzer? Williams? Windisch? And Chairman Dillon.
Aye.
18 ayes. Last item is item number 6, a joint resolution from your Finance, Audit, and Legislative Committee and your Executive Committee recommending approval of a proposal for resolution for annual appropriation and budget ordinance as amended by committee.
Member Williams, Member Bryant. Questions, comments? Member Elsasser.
Well, my no vote tonight is not against the work you guys did to reduce the head count. I do appreciate that, but I still feel like we have some more cutting to do, and I think we have too many people in administration. I mean, when I first came on the board, there was I don't know how many up there. I need to go back and check. I don't know if I can find that, but there wasn't very many people, and so I think we can still do some trimming in the future.
Other comments? This is got to say something here. This is spending a lot of money in a short period of time here, but I do appreciate all the chairs and vice chairs' work on this. I know there's a lot of department heads here tonight and elected officials here tonight. Heather and her team, Scott and all his team, to get us here tonight was no small task. And as soon as we vote on this, everybody that's been around here for a while knows next year's budget's basically starts on the budget again. So heartfelt gratitude from this board. I know this is later than we've done it. We had moved it up. I think this was a good time. Everybody had enough time to prepare and look at it over. It worked very smoothly this time. So as the end of our first term, or this term's come down, and with gratitude to staff and everybody for the hard work to get there. And I know committees will deep dive, so Member Elsasser, there's still work to be done, and I encourage you to participate in that work and come up with some answers for everything. Any other comments? Member Williams.
Well, I have to make a comment too, since we all worked so hard on this. But that was the thing. It was we all worked really hard on this. You know, all the departments, all the elected officials, Scott. I mean, I could not do this without Scott and Heather. I mean, I cannot say enough great things about Heather. Heather, you're amazing, and I appreciate all the work that you do for the county and on behalf of the county. But I really liked the fact that all the board members were really engaged in this process, gave me a lot of good feedback, so I really do appreciate that.
Thank you, Member Williams. Member Hare.
Yeah, my no vote will be not because of the hard work that was done, but I did run on a platform of eliminating more positions, although that platform didn't work. So that was the fact that we have open positions and we keep posting them, and then they're in the budget, and then they get rolled over to the general fund. That was one of my points that I thought we could probably have done a little more work on, but all in all, I'm satisfied with the budget, but in principle, I'll have to vote no.
Thank you, Member Hare. Any other comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Members Blair?
Aye.
Bryant?
Aye.
Coates?
Aye.
Daly?
Aye.
Duncan?
Aye.
Elsasser? Groves Allison?
Aye.
Hare? Kelch? Balin? Renault? Ricker? Rosenbaum? Rulin? Balzer? Williams? Wendish? And Chairman Dillon.
Aye.
16 ayes and 2 nays. Miscellaneous and announcements.
We'll start at Member Rulin's side this time. Danny, we got you out here in about an hour.
Got an extra chair?
Member Hare? Member Coe? Duncan? Member Rosenbaum?
You guys all missed it. Happy Thanksgiving to you all coming up, and I'm glad I got to be the first one to say it.
As I was sending around a sign-in for our next meeting, which will be December 12th, Thursday, we will be having our potluck. So everybody let me know what you're going to be bringing.
I just wanted to say I've known Nate here for many, many years through our church and for other reasons. But the one thing I'm really going to miss is him asking the tough questions. I mean, it's easy to ask a simple question just to hear your voice, but he asked the tough questions, and you can tell he was familiar with the information, and I really do appreciate that.
Is Randy Bruner still here? Randy, can you come in here for a second? I figured he wouldn't. I wanted to recognize Randy, a.k.a. Cookie, for all of his hard work and dedication. Today is his birthday, so happy birthday, Randy. You shouldn't have told me it was your birthday earlier. You shouldn't have told me it was your birthday earlier. We'll sing to Randy. We've sung before. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Randy. Happy birthday to you. And then, lastly, just it's amazing 2 years went by this quick. Like Sharon said, I've served on a lot of boards, but I think this board really took the we attitude and rolled up their sleeves, and we did a lot of good things in the last 2 years. And I was proud to be sitting in this chair for those 2 years and proud to serve with everybody around this horseshoe. We couldn't have accomplished it if we didn't all put together, and I'm really happy how things went this last 2 years, and I couldn't have done anything without you. And again, we also thank you to the citizens for coming out. I know not many spoke tonight, but it's a good civic engagement. You see what's going on here. Right now, it's an issue bringing people out. I would continue people to be taking active role, whether it be township government or county in the future, and I appreciate the civic engagement, which sometimes you rarely see anymore. With that, just thankful for everybody here. Scott, Clerk Parker. Meeting adjourned.